Hey everyone, this is Vikram and we're here with Massive Chalice. It's been several months since this game is out, but I've just been started getting into it and successfully completed the game the first try on normal, so from what I've heard that's a pretty rare thing. But I'm doing this video in case you missed this game, because I suspect that many of the people on my channel would really enjoy this one. So just wanted to show it to you because I really like it. And let's see, we're going to... Can I not change the game name? Okay, here we go. So we're going to start a new game here, and I'll explain it as we go. But first of all, let me set some parameters here. Let's do it. I think we need a balanced start. That seems good. We will not do Iron Man or tutorial. And now that that's set, I'm actually going to play with a controller. And so basically, this game was a Kickstarter game, and the combat, well, basically it's kind of an interesting combination of things. There's the combat that is very reminiscent of XCom. It's basically tactical RPG type of combat. Then there's another layer on top where you have different houses of heroes, and you marry them and such, and then they produce offspring, and those become your new heroes or something like that. It takes the game is 300 years long, so you can tell that you're going to be having multiple generations of heroes. Now, your ruler is immortal, and you'll kind of see why. But I just want to show you this. Basically, different houses have different names. They have names of their keeps. They have mottos. They have battle cries, and you'll see those in the game. Basically, most of these were created by backers who contributed a certain amount of money to the Kickstarter, and they got to make a house. So they're in the setup for the game. You can choose whether you want thematic houses, which is basically like serious stuff, like it sounds like an actual fantasy world theme type of thing. And then there's another category that's like silly stuff, people have submitted that's kind of funny. I think I picked thematic here for the Let's Play, but yeah, maybe we don't want to do that. Just for fun, I'm just going to do both. And we'll call it Let's Play. Keep it on hard and a balanced start. And you can select which houses you want to begin with if you want. I don't think I'm going to do that, because that takes a long time to sort through them all. There's a lot. So you can pick one, pick one that suits your fancy. I actually found one that was the same last name that I had, so in my game that's what I used.
Has to do with this. It should have happened by now.
Life keeps to its own timetable, not ours.
Doesn't stop us from trying. Good morning.
Your ruler has risen. Rejoice.
And that's us, me, the player character. There's a lot of horns in this game, you'll find.
Immortal protector of the nation, progeny of the great bloodlines, master of strategies, eternal conductor, and forger of matrimony.
We're here to advise you on how to handle ruling and commanding.
So a giant cup is providing us advice.
The horns of battle.
Fine, we'll have to do this later. The cadence is attacking. Heroes, jump in.
All right, so the heroes jump into the chalice and they get transported to wherever.
Take command because our citizens, understandably, find it hard to trust a giant
Wherever
talking
we're being
chalice.
attacked.
We are not just a giant talking chalice.
But the nation will listen to you because you're of their blood.
Forged from the bloodlines of the great houses.
Oh, and one last thing. Unfortunately, the bloodline ritual that was used to create you also bound you to us. So you can never leave the throne.
But do not despair. You can still command your heroes. Look inward, and you will find that your mind can follow them anywhere.
So basically,
We don't want to keep the cadence.
now we can control our heroes here. And so the cadence is our enemy, and you'll find as we go along that they do a little more explanation, but it becomes clear that it's kind of,
Brilliant mind in a delicate body.
you're supposed to go into this not quite knowing what they are.
Battle, but they make up for it with their nasty exploding flasks.
Just watch out for friendly fire.
The explosions of
So yeah, they're explaining the
goes back. Trust us.
alchemist
You don't want
class.
to be on the receiving end of one of their concoctions.
There are 3 different main classes here. There's the alchemist, which they just explained. They throw flasks, and they also have a melee attack that is generally not very good unless you do a hybrid class. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Then we have
Here you have
the hunters who have crossbows. They got stealth,
from afar.
so that's pretty useful.
Plan is better.
They can go ahead and
Closely, you might be able to
find where the enemy
leave
is.
you behind as you line up that perfect shot.
Actually, the hunter will be in front of the group, stealthily scouting ahead.
Is that what they say they're doing?
And then the other is the
They hit
caber
things with
jack.
a caber. Sometimes they hit hard and put things down. Other times they
A
hit
caber's
not
like
so
a
hard
giant
and just
log.
knock things out.
That's all you're going to say.
So they
Simple
just
life.
bash.
Caberjacks, profound purveyors of violence.
Okay, so yeah, you can move around just like sort of like an XCom type of thing. The orange is where you can go with one. You have 2 actions basically. You can go to the orange now, and then you can attack. Or if you don't attack, you can go out here to the white area, and that'll be like a sprint, and it'll put you. You know, if the enemy suddenly appears, you'll be kind of in a bad spot. So what we're gonna do to start out, and this is what I'm gonna do most of the time when we're starting out, because often you don't see the enemy when you start. Sometimes you do, and that's really annoying. That can be quite unnerving and put you out of position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do stealth move, and you can see that these little diamond areas are where we can move to and be stealth, and the hunter will be safe there basically because the enemy won't see them. So you can see we revealed more of the area here. There's nobody there. So we're going to scout over this way with our other hunter. Okay, and I'm going to try to make sure that these other classes don't move too far. So what I'm doing is I'm moving them to an orange spot, and then I'm going to skip the second action because I don't want them to activate an enemy before we've scouted them, because it's good to know where they are, then I can plan my attack. So it looks like there's not anything here. So, yeah, the nice thing about this too is you can switch back and forth between the heroes. You don't have to do, their moves one at a time or any particular order. So that's really useful for your strategy. It looks like we'll just check over here to see if we can see anything around that corner, and it looks like there's nothing, so I suspect the enemy's going to be this way. Now this map is actually a little unusual. Most of the time when you're fighting, it's going to be in an outdoor environment actually. So we're going to pop here to look around, and still nobody. That is strange. Maybe we'll just send this guy around. We just gotta locate them somehow, and it's probably pretty safe to just head up here. Now we do have an extra move. We can go and scout somewhere else. Let's pop over here, see what we see. So yeah, this game has a lot of layers and stuff. I mean, I think that it has a formula that if you get the formula down, it tends to you know, not be as hard, but on the surface, it's very challenging. Like I say, it was pretty unusual for me to win the first game, even not playing on hard difficulty. So I have been playing too a hard game on iron mode, but I don't want to do that for a video because, well, that's never a good idea. Because who knows, things happen with recording and such. Well, this is quite unusual. This is a long time to not be seeing them. And when we see them, I'll kind of talk a little bit about what is the cadence. Are you sure there are enemies here? Huh. Let's pop here. Here we go.
Here we are.
First catch of the day.
We can't tell you much about the cadence because not much is known. It's old, first sighted centuries ago. It cares only for destroying our nation with its corruption.
That's where pawns like you see here come in. Think of them as attack dogs the
Oh,
cadence
buddy.
creates to spread corruption in the world.
So there's different kinds of enemies there. The seed is kind of your basic type of fighter, melee attack, low HP generally. So not a huge threat necessarily, but they do tend to gang up. Okay, so now we can actually engage in combat, and you'll see when we go to the enemy, it shows us our percentage and the predicted damage that we will inflict. So basically, this guy isn't going to cause us too much trouble, I think. We should be able to kill him. I think the first thing I'm going to do is maybe try to keep the hunters in stealth. So we'll try to attack with the others. And looks like he can't quite make it to melee range. So actually we'll go ahead and do the hunter. So try to take that shot. And that's a miss. Okay, well, we'll try here. There we go.
How about that?
And they say their battle cry after they kill someone, and that's dependent on their house. And you can see there we've got Stephanie Sundown is the name of this hero, and Memphis Sundown is this one. So they're from the same house. And then we have Zerk de Grizz as a hunter. Lorelei Tarantino is our caberjack, and Eric Thau is the other hunter. So we've got a few houses here. All right, there's one there.
Arguably the lowliest of pawns
And they're
on
explaining what
nuisance.
those seeds are.
But if you're going to remember
Basically
one
what I
thing,
said before.
don't let those runts form a posse. Keep them apart.
Otherwise, it'll be like when caberjacks get together at a tavern.
Except not the best night of your life.
Okay, now we did see the other enemy here. And I suspect they will reveal themselves. Okay, there's a couple of them over there. That's actually not very good. So the Lapse is a ranged enemy. And what they do is when they hit you, you lose experience. So that's really irritating. Because experience is super important. Okay, I'm going to put him here to get him into position. Okay, and send this hunter that way. And then what we'll do is bring the caberjack up here. And the alchemist can come on behind. And we will not shoot, because I don't think they see us just yet. This guy does, though. Okay, they will. They will fight. So you see we lost 150 XP.
least they belong to heroic bloodlines.
Oh yes, we forgot to mention, normal humans cannot survive even a single touch from the Cadence, but because the bloodlines
So
of
we'll
the heroes are attuned
head
to
into
us and
attack.
have our power flowing through them, they have a fighting chance.
And there's one there. So, yeah, we can do... Yeah, let's do a melee attack with the alchemists. You know, sometimes they can do alright.
I get way too excited.
And what you can do when you settle a house, all the heroes of the same house are going to... they are going to be the same class. But what you can do is marry someone of a different class, and then you create a hybrid class. So, for example, you take an alchemist, marry them to a caberjack, and you get a brutalist, which is an alchemist with some strong melee powers, and they can also, instead of their regular just flame flask, they have a knockback flask, so that can knock enemies out of position. So, kind of cool. You can do all sorts of combinations like that. And our caberjack is getting kind of beat up. We really don't want them to die. So we're going to try to make sure that doesn't happen. Alright, I'm going to... It's probably not necessary, but we'll do that anyway. Ah, nuts. Okay. So, now what I think we will want to do, see if we can get the alchemist from the other side, and we'll throw a flask. And yeah, that didn't do quite as much damage as I was hoping. So these are area of effect, which is quite useful. And you can miss. That can be absolutely disastrous, especially in the early going when you definitely don't have a lot of HP. Let's just risk this. Oh, nuts. I think our caberjack is going to die. Yeah, these heroes that we're starting with seem to have very low HP. Oh, nuts.
Cadence cowards. They'd rather stay back and snipe
Whew.
than fight up close.
Be wary. If your heroes are hit, they may forget some of their combat training.
Oh my goodness.
Mine is just as vulnerable as the body.
Alright, so we are in trouble here. What we ought to do is bring these alchemists in. See if we can't do that. Whew. Okay, that was... So the laughs also kind of explode in a knockback thing when they die. So you gotta kind of be careful about that. I'm just gonna throw this, and hopefully it was not gonna hit my caberjack, which it didn't. Alright, so I'm not gonna risk you. I'm hoping that this is the last of the enemies. I mean, I think it is. And we're just gonna have to hope that these hunters can both hit. That one's good. And... whoa, come on. Yes. Alright, now I hope that's it. It's not. Oh, we just have a seed there. I think those alchemists will be fine. Yep. Right, now is that it? Whoa, that was close.
Go on.
Well, now I don't want to.
Oh, please.
Good job today.
So we didn't lose anyone. That is a huge, huge victory, really. Alright, so now this is the overworld, and you see we have different provinces here. You can put a building in each one. What how it works is the cadence will attack at least 2 regions at once. Sometimes they do 3, which is really terrible. But they start on the outer regions here, and then once that's taken, once you get 3 points of corruption there, you see the empty diamonds. Those will fill up whenever the cadence shows up and you don't fight them off in that particular region, because you can only actually prevent 1 from getting corruption. So you kind of have to choose where you're going to take the loss. And that really is, it's kind of what this game is all about, is loss. And it's very philosophical in a way, and it has kind of a sad musical track. And when you think about the cadence, you know, it's the word cadence, you know, is associated with the cadence of time, the inexorable loss. So this game is very, you know, it seems on the surface to be pretty, you know, pretty simple, but has some deep ideas in there. So the outer regions, they're most vulnerable to being lost, but all of them have bonuses. So if you have a building in there, you will get the bonuses. So there's a risk reward type of thing. And you know, I do like to use the outer regions because the bonuses are just really good. So and they're kind of randomized per game. So in this one we have, in the Pale Sea region, the outer region has Alchemist's bonus intelligence. This one has reduced construction time of the building. And this has increased, or maybe that's in general. Huh, I wonder. Alright, so this boosts hero experience, which is very cool. And that will give you bonus research. Yeah, I'm not sure whether this reduced construction time is in general or just for that region. I think maybe we'll build something there soon just to see if it affects. I guess it's hard to tell, but we'll see if it affects things. So we start with 1 keep, and what you can do is appoint a regent, and these are the ones who will produce offspring, who will be your next generation of heroes. So we have to decide, you know, what hero class we really want to start with. And, you know, it's kind of up to you. But you want to also check the details of the heroes to see what sort of traits and personalities they have, because those can be passed down in the generations and stuff. So, you know, asthmatic, you know, they're more likely to have kids who are also asthmatic. Now, this is really bad because strength is very important for caperjacks, dexterity is very important for hunters, intelligence is very important for alchemists. So, a hunter who has the clumsy trait is not good. It's really not good. So you don't want to marry them at all. What you can do instead is have them be a spouse to a different class where clumsy is not going to be a big deal. So I'm having, he's clumsy, and he's the one that we have in the Vanguard, which is the actual hunter, or the actual heroes that you deploy. I suppose, you know, I think I can probably live with asthmatic. So I'm gonna appoint this guy because hunters are quite useful, especially early on. And you can see that we can choose a partner, and it shows you, you know, combines their fertility ratings to tell you how likely they are to have kids, and then it tells you what class their kids are going to be. So if we marry another hunter, they're going to be hunters too, the kids. If we marry another class, then they're going to be hybrid classes, like the trick shot is with an alchemist. They can shoot bows with flasks on them, basically, for explosive bow shots, which is pretty nice. Then the enforcer is with a caberjack spouse, and they are kind of a stronger hunter, and they also have some knockback type of stuff, so they can knock enemies around with their arrows, which can be also really nice. Mostly, I don't worry too much about what their hybrid class is going to be, and try to work with what I have. I'm looking for good traits, because those are also passed down. Now, so you see she has Tranquil, which is a great personality trait, but Slow Learner is pretty bad because, the whole point of the progress of the game is to make sure that your heroes are having more and more XP in general as they go. So if you're breeding people with lower XP gains, then they're going to be less likely to be at the levels you need them to be when they come of age. So I think this person may be the best because level 2, so that will increase the XP rate of the kids, and then also Hawkeye is a nice thing to have, especially for a hunter, because they're going to be scouting ahead. And we're just going to have to live with the possibility of Oblivious and that kind of stuff, so none of that is too bad. So we'll get some trick shots out of this. Now we need to do research, which is basically progress of any kind. You can develop armor, weapons, items. You can discover new heroes and get bonuses as well in nation. So the first thing I probably want to do, we kind of really need another keep. So let's do that, and we're gonna build it here to see what this does. Because if that's reduced construction time in general, it's good for us to do it early, so that then our other buildings will be constructed. Okay, so I didn't explain it, but I hit right trigger to start the flow of time, and we've gone 3 years now, and a baby has been born.
And it was glorious every time, was it not?
So you can see we got Errol Degrees, who's going to be a trick shot. Already starting with Hawkeye and Impressionable. So it's good that they have Hawkeye. We've gone 4 years now. Or we've gone 3 years and 41 days. So we'll just keep going. A lot of this game is sort of like this. You set things up and then just let time flow. We have another child in that keep, which is to be expected because we have pretty high fertility there. Now, we're we only have one caberjack, which is not real good. And that caberjack is not very skilled. So I think maybe we'll set up an alchemist house here. Actually, these sundown folks are not very good. Yeah, they have some issues there. What about this person? I mean, they're not quite as bad, but you know, puny and clumsy. Not a big deal for alchemists. So I guess maybe we'll do him. And let's see about a partner. It's not too bad, really. Yeah, they've got some problems there. Reduced XP and stuff like that. I think Sarah Ruddle is really our best choice. Yeah, unfortunate thing is they both have low XP, so it's not gonna be good. So I think it must have affected overall construction speed, so that's nice. First thing we really need is that health vial. Well, actually, let's abandon that. Let's do discover new heroes because we really need more caberjacks.
Finally, some action.
All right, so the cadence is here, and we have to choose which one we want to defend.
So they're only able to attack every few years.
But we only have so much time for the episode, so we will end that here, and we'll be back at least for they do explain a lot of things.
So even if you win one battle, it'll be too late to fight the other.
Choose wisely and
Blow the horns.
All right, so we'll be back and fight this battle in the next episode, and we will continue into this game. So we'll see if this ends up being a full series, or, you know, we may fail horribly. That might happen too. So we'll see you next time.